We were lucky to have the opportunity to see Ice Nine Kills play both of their hit horror-themed albums live for a two-night event in Stuttgart, Germany. Let's talk about night one, where they played their 2018 album, The Silver Scream, in its entirety. If you want to see night two, then there's going to be a link in the description below. Of course, there was an opener, and that was TX2, and they're kind of a mix of different styles, but I would say they are more emo. Not really my thing, but I have to admit, these guys have a lot of energy. Again, it's not my cup of tea, but I think they did well and they fulfilled the role of the opener. And then it was time for the headliner. Since they played the Silver Scream in its entirety, the set list was predictable and they opened with American Nightmare. The entrance was awesome. The whole band was dressed up, and Spencer Charnas, their lead vocalist, he wore Freddy Krueger's glove from A Nightmare on Elm Street. The glove with the blades for fingers that looked nice and creepy. And during this first song, I noticed two things right away. One, Spencer's screams were incredible. Two, the sound in this venue was not good. They had a trumpet and saxophone player on stage, but I couldn't even hear what they were playing. Thank God It's Friday was next. There were stage performers for this one, and it looked fun. This song is about the movie Friday the 13th, and they had people around on stage dressed up as camp counselors, Jason's mom, and Jason himself. People got chased around and macheted, and the breakdown in the end was cool too. Then they went into Stop It in the Dark, which is about John Carpenter's Halloween. The singing was pretty pitchy on the intro. But they got into it once the chorus hit. Spencer performed in Michael Myers' Mask, and he was carrying a big knife the whole song. After that, it was time for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre anthem, Savages. The mix was a little bit better for this one, and I could actually make out what the guitarists were playing. Two of their stage performers were also in leather face costumes, and they were carrying chainsaws the whole time. The costumes were impressive, and the whole performance had the visual theme of the movie. After that, they played The Jig Is Up, which is about the movie Saw. And then they went into their biggest hit, A Great Mistake. On this song, it was clear that the whole band is made up of really good singers. At this point, they had already been doing backup vocals, screams, and even singing harmony. But on this song, their bassist, Joe, he even seemed to share lead duties with Spencer. Everyone in the band can sing and scream, and this is really cool, and it makes the live performance much more entertaining. Then they played Rocking Boat, which is about Spielberg's Jaw. They had someone running around on stage wearing a shark costume that looked pretty funny. Then they followed it with Enjoy Your Sleigh, which is about Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and it was great live. The stage performance even acted out the scene where Jack Nicholson busts through the door with an axe while he's chasing his wife. That was pretty entertaining and it sounded quite heavy. After that, they played Freak Flag. And then The World in My Hands, which is about Tim Burton's Edward Scissorhands. I think since the first half of the album has more singles on it than the second half, they ran out of steam here because they didn't have as much visual production on the screens for these two songs as for the earlier songs. But nevertheless, the whole crowd seemed to know them and they were singing along. And then they played Merry Xmas. This is not one of my favorite songs, but it was pretty cool live. They had a guy in a Santa suit walking around on stage and carrying a giant axe. Towards the end, he and some crew members were throwing red balloons into the crowd. I'm guessing they are supposed to present gore. And then they played Love Bites. The studio version has a feature, and they invited a guest singer to do the female vocal parts. And she sang well, but I didn't know who that was because the sound was so bad and I didn't understand when Spencer was introducing her. Then they played the last song of the album. It is The End. And I have to give Spencer credit because he could do clown voice live.
George, did you hear my circus was in town? It seems I have your boat here. That's right. Storm clear off track.
They reenacted the opening scene from It, where Georgie loses his boat to Pennywise. The heavy parts sounded brutal. And the chorus and outro were just epic. Since the show was a little bit too short and there was a bonus track on the Silver Scream, I was expecting an encore, and there was one. And I have never seen an encore to happen this fast. I think like they left the stage and approximately in 20 seconds after that, they were back on stage shouting, "Do you want one more?" But they didn't play what I was expecting. They played Meet and Greet, which is a bonus track from the following album, which is about the Silence of the Lambs. And then they played The Great Unknown, which is a new single about the Matrix. And I actually happen to really like this one. They closed with the Laugh track, which is another new single, and this one is about Joker. The show was great, the costumes, production, the energy of the band all left an impression. If you have seen the movies the songs are about, I think you would enjoy the show even more because there are so many subtle references, not just in lyrics and costumes, but also on the screens, during the songs, and as interludes as well. But unfortunately, the vocals got pretty pitchy in several places, which is always disappointing. Perhaps if the sound was bad for us, it was probably bad for them too, and they probably couldn't hear themselves well. Things were definitely too loud. After the show, my ears were ringing, and we were nowhere close to the front. We were actually standing behind the sound guys, where I would assume the sound would be the best. I do wish the mix had been better because I cannot say it was the best show to listen to, but at least there were a lot of interesting things to watch, and I was thoroughly entertained, not just by the band's performance, but all their support as well. If you want to know how night 2 went, there's going to be a link in the description below. There they played their follow-up album, Welcome to Horrorwood, in its entirety. Check it out. I hope you didn't forget to follow this channel and give me a like, please. See you in my next videos. Bye bye.